Welcome to another episode of Star Wars Talk. I'm Jon Berry, and today I'm reviewing Star Wars Heir to the Jedi by Kevin Hearne. I think I pronounced that right. Right off the bat, I want to say I was caught off guard by the use of first-person narrative for the story. The story is narrated and told from the point of view of Luke Skywalker, meaning Luke himself is the narrator, not a third-person narrator who knows what the main character is thinking and doing and pretty much everything else that's going on in the story. After over-explaining that, what do you think of that style of choice? As I have already stated, it caught me off guard. I didn't like it at first, but I came to accept it for what it is. That being, it is different. I don't think I would ever reread this book, in all honesty, but I'll talk about that later. Before I continue, if you find yourself enjoying this review, please leave a like. Also, to stay up to date on all my non-YouTube stuff, consider following me on Twitter or Facebook. You can also check out my website and Discord server. Links are in the description. And my question for you today is, what did you think of Star Wars Heir to the Jedi? And every other question I pose to you in this review. I already have done one, and I'll have more coming up. Besides that, just let me know your answers to all those questions I pose in the comments. Now back to the review. Another thing I enjoyed was Luke's love interest, specifically how she fit into the story. But I didn't like the decision to give Luke a love interest. Very similar to Alec from Star Wars Explained's thoughts on Darth Maul being resurrected. No, they didn't like the decision, but liked everything they did with it, if that makes sense. And she does actually fit into the story well, and provided some good character development for Luke that he really and desperately needed. To explain it all would take a lot of time, but it is sufficient to say that her presence spurred good character development for Luke, and we got to see Luke mature and grieve. We never really saw Luke grieve too much in the original trilogy, so it's good to see him grieve, especially for his aunt and uncle. He had that one kind of downtrodden look, but he just had to continue going, had no time for grief, which is actually expressed in this book. And Luke's love interest is what provided this opportunity to mature and very specifically to grieve that Luke needed. Luke probably, who knows what would have happened if Luke didn't take some time to grieve for all the losses that he has experienced since A New Hope at the time of the story. And there's a fair amount. His aunt and uncle, his love interest from this book, spoiler alert, but it's been out for a couple years now. Also, no, he lost his friend Biggs, and probably just all his fellow pilots from the Battle of Yavin. Obi-Wan Kenobi too, Ben Kenobi. So there's a lot. He needed to grieve, and this story gave him the opportunity to do so. Now, the biggest, and I mean the biggest problem with this story is Luke successfully learning to use the Force to move objects. While I enjoyed Luke learning to be more connected to the Force, by him learning to actually move objects and to be successful doing so, which I think is important in this context, undermines his achievement of using the Force to pull the lightsaber towards himself in the Wampa Cave scene from The Empire Strikes Back. Let's open up a discussion about this in the comments or on my Discord server, because it's a huge topic and really does need to be discussed. But for me, this weakens, this story plot element, the story arc weakens what Luke accomplishes in Empire Strikes Back. It cheapens his achievement in the context of the larger story. Because in A New Hope, all we get to see is Luke trusting the Force pretty much when he destroys the Death Star. That's really all we've seen. And then by the time Empire Strikes Back, yeah, I guess he can make some progress, but for me, my interpretation is it's implied that without Ben Kenobi to guide him, he has not made that much development. Maybe some progress, maybe his instincts are better, he's better tuned to his surroundings, that kind of stuff. But being able to physically alter what's going on to affect the physical world, I don't think Luke should have been able to do that until that moment of desperation in The Empire Strikes Back. We see him struggling. Yes, he can have maybe tried, but that should have been, in The Empire Strikes Back, this should have been the first time he succeeded. Some people may have different interpretations, but to me, that's when he should have been first succeeded in moving an object with the Force. This just weakens it, in my opinion, which is why I really don't like this decision. Sure, I do like the story it tells, but it honestly does not work in the context of the larger Star Wars story. And I have not really discussed the main plot, but to be honest, it did not leave an impact on me. It was, if I remember correctly, it was just about Luke and his love interest from the book, whose name I've already forgotten, by the way. That does not go well for that character, but it's been, I don't know, over 3 months since I read the book by the time I'm actually recording my review, so forgive me. If I remember correctly, it was they were trying to get some weapons for the Alliance, I think, something like that. But in all honesty, the two subplots I already mentioned affected me more, so I won't be discussing the main plot. The best way to describe it is meh. Really, meh might be the best way. Now, would I recommend this book? Well, it depends on who you are. If, and this is a big if you are a huge Star Wars fan, and, this is important, and you love to read, then yes, you have to be both. If you're one or the other, I cannot recommend this book, in all honesty. I love Star Wars, I love to read, so I'm in the perfect demographic. Or if you do lots of Star Wars lore videos, I guess that is another group that I would recommend it to, but I don't know how, there's not too much greater lore in there. I honestly don't know too much. It's really much of a meh book overall. There are better books in the Star Wars canon out there, really. And I mean truly better books. Not, I was sounding kind of wishy-washy there, but there are truly better books. Star Wars 1, Star Wars from a certain point of view, are just two. And even some of the bad and weird Legends books will be a better use of your time. Yes, I'm serious. Like, the Jedi Prince series. It's a weird series, but, in all honesty, it's more entertaining than Star Wars Heir to the Jedi. It really is. So, just dwell on that for a little bit. Let me know what you think. Really, honestly, let me know what you think. I want to hear from you. This video is brought to you by my 1000 subscriber goal Q&A video coming out in only a few days. I have already begun scripting the video, so that means collecting the questions and jotting down some thoughts on my answers, but I will continue to take questions until tomorrow. So literally, tomorrow at midnight. In fact, when I check my before I start recording it Sunday, I will double check to make sure I've gotten every question. So essentially it's when I wake up Sunday and start recording, so Sunday for me could already be half over by that time. So I'm giving you as much time as I feasibly can, but pretty much after midnight Central Time, Central Time Zone, which is UTC -6, I believe currently. I never remember that precisely, but essentially that's kind of when I'll stop taking questions. But really, I'm going to be taking questions up till I finalize the video itself, so you can still submit your questions. You can do it in this section of this video, any video, I really don't care. I just want to get your questions. Community posts I make out. You can also do the Q&A announcement video, which I do have linked in the cards. You can also tweet at Jon Berry 555, which is my Twitter username, I think. Well, you can tweet at me on Twitter, and of course my patrons, there's a Q&A thread over there, so you can go check that out as well. And the only reason why I'm at this crunch deadline is because I have to have this video out Monday, December 24th. That's Christmas Eve. That will be my Christmas gift to you, and then that evening I am literally leaving for vacation. So it's gonna be a tight thread, and also that also will be my last video of the year. I will have a New Year's resolution video at the new year, but I'm counting that toward 2019, even if it comes out 2018. But my Q&A video will be my last video of the year, and I want it to be a good one. So let's make it a good video, shall we? Now, to conclude, this is my proper conclusion. Star Wars: Heir to the Jedi by Kevin Hearne is a poor addition to the Star Wars canon. There's no other way to state it. While it has some excellent elements and is good in its own right, as part of an extended and expanded universe with an overarching story and already established character development, it does not work. Thank you for watching my latest video. New videos come out every week, so consider subscribing and turning on notifications so YouTube knows that you want to be notified of when I release new content. Feel free to check out the video of the playlist on screen now. Lastly, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. May the Force be with you always.